Ну, итак, друзья мои, недолго музыка не играла, должен вам сказать. Понимаете, у меня же производство, у меня поступает новая информация, у меня появляются новые видео. И сегодня получилось так, что я, как обещал, отправился на встречу с теми, кто собирается, объявил о том, что пора заканчивать с этим безобразием, с этим навязыванием нам идей, не находящих отклика в нашей с вами психике. Знаем, о чем говорим, об уколах, о вакцинах, о ковиде, о принудительном ношении масок, о лишении людей работы. Ну так вот, сегодня Бруклин собрался, и сейчас я вам представлю первую встречу из целой серии творческих вечеров. Я думаю, творческих полудней, так бы я сказал. Сегодня отвратительная была погода. Сегодня был 0 градусов, снегопад, легкий по канадским представлениям, конечно. И тем не менее, все, кто были сегодня на улицах Бруклина, пришли, мне кажется, очень мало людей было на улицах Бруклина первоначально, но мы все собрались на углу Ocean Parkway, нашей большой, главной, наверное, самой широкой магистрали, и Avenue W. И, в общем, собралась интересная толпа. Я был очень впечатлен настроением людей, решимостью людей. Люди подходили, передавали привет, благодарили. Может быть, кто-то посмотрит эту программу. Я всем очень благодарен. Меня тут же подкрепили шоколадкой наши бруклинские люди. И, в общем, теплейшая была атмосфера. Вы сейчас посмотрите, как это было. Абсолютно это так не выглядит. Это не осталось на пленке, то есть на телефонке. Но, короче говоря, вот посмотрите, как оно было. И это было, я считаю, прекрасно. Для первого раза было замечательно. И я думаю, что наши власти должны приготовиться к тому, что таких встреч будет очень много в будущем. Они будут частыми. Меня очень впечатлило то, что масса людей было против того, чтобы подхватить мой лозунг «Let's go, Brandon». Все знали, что это такое, и как бы не хотели опускаться до такого вот некомильфо. Также человек, пришедший с флагом «F. Joe Biden», просто открытым текстом, он тоже сказали, это как бы вот не наш путь, мы хотим быть теми, кто мы есть, то есть слов таких мы употреблять не будем. У меня двоякое к этому отношение. Я понимаю, что необходимы действия. Я не знаю, в каком русле эти действия будут происходить. Надеюсь, что они будут законодательными. Надеюсь, что они будут успешно взывающими к здравому смыслу. Но история покажет. Пока надежды на это особой нет. Друзья мои, сейчас я перехожу в роль киномеханика с редкими комментариями. Ну, видео, понимаете сами, да, это не Метро Голдвин Майер, это не 20 век Фокс, но, тем не менее, представляем.
Если бы не вы, мы бы ничего не знали об этом.
Привет.
Как дела?
Ничего, потихонечку. Как дочечка.
Чикаго?
Отметим канадский флаг. Он еще появится неоднократно. Я собственноручно привязывал этот флаг вместе с Владом, который будет открывать этот митинг. канадский флаг. Американский стоял уже к моему приходу. Музыка доносится из динамиков, естественно. Всем привет, кто видит себя в кадре. Привет Жене, привет Марку. Привет Али, которая промелькнула. Народ потихоньку подтягивается, все оделись по погоде.
One life we've learned how to fight them, and the next life we'll show them how to honor it. Right, Joe? Absolutely.
Это Хэши, наш местный общественный деятель и политик.
No medical apartheid, no segregation. Give people back their jobs. That's all we're asking for. We're right here on Ocean Parkway with all of us fighting. Am I correct?
Народ подтягивается, дорогие друзья. Оставайтесь, посмотрите, как это все было. И какие были ораторы у нас, о чем они говорили. Я был очень впечатлен. Это наклейки. Я себе приобрел один комплект, который выглядит вот так, наверное. Сейчас я попробую применить технологию фантастическую 21 века. Вот. Здесь. Это средний палец с подписью "This is my vaccine passport".
This is not left versus right, it's right versus wrong. We got to stop these mandates, the mask mandates, the vaccine mandates. It should be, up to the individual, their doctor, their family. That's the way it should be. It's a free country and needs to stay that way. We don't elect people into office to be kings or queens or tyrants. We elect them to represent the people, and the people in America are supposed to be free. I'm Mark Shushkevich. I'm running for U.S. Senate because I chose to run a statewide election instead of running locally, which I could probably win very easily, because all across the state we need to make a change, and I'm going to be fighting to make sure that we make a change across New York State.
And you're a good fighter, sir.
Thank you.
Alec, in Russian, please.
In Russian?
Yes.
Я думаю вообще, что в дополнение к тому, что Марк сказал, должен сказать, что в Америке, в те времена, когда я приехал в Америку, в 1989 году, не было, я скажу по-русски, просто не было такого количества правительства. Правительство не управляло всем в нашей жизни. И это было совершенно нормально для Америки долгие годы. И сегодня, поскольку COVID принес то, что он принес, правительство управляет сегодня каждым человеком, каждым американцем. Но к этому не привыкли. Это неправильно, так не должно быть. Мы приехали сюда, потому что мы приехали в свободную страну. Мы приехали в страну, которая всегда базировалась на соревновании разных идей, политических идей, но никогда никто в правительстве не говорил людям, как жить и что делать каждый день, каждую минуту. Это неправильно, это не по-нашему, не по-американски. Поэтому люди, которые сегодня говорят об этом, и те elected officials, которые говорят об этом и продолжают говорить об этом, я думаю, у них уже нет морального права представлять людей вообще.
Увы, к сожалению, Алик красный. Алик Брук красный. Республиканец. Здесь хорошо, правда?
Feels good. No, feels good. Ну, вообще для меня это, вы знаете, это был no-brainer вообще.
Let me see the flag good. All right.
Take both the back. Here you go. We're supposed to be living the way we are.
Okay.
We're teaching our children to be afraid. No more mandates.
No vaccine mandate. No vaccine mandate. No vaccine mandate.
Vaccine mandate. No vaccine mandate.
No vaccine mandate.
No vaccine mandate.
No vaccine mandate.
No vaccine mandate.
No vaccine mandate.
No vaccine mandate.
No vaccine mandate.
No vaccine mandate.
No mask mandate.
No mask mandate.
Let's go, Brandon.
No mask mandate.
No vaccine mandates.
Let's go, Brandon.
I hate him, but that's not what I'm here for.
No vaccine mandate.
No
Vaccine mandates.
No vaccine mandate. No digital passport.
No digital passport.
No digital passport. No digital passport.
No digital passport.
Free our kids' faces.
Free our kids' faces. Free our kids' faces.
We are here today because we all understand that when our relatives and friends are losing their livelihood because they refuse to inject the vaccine, when business owners across the city and state lose their businesses, when people are denied life-saving organ transplants because of their vaccination status, when young kids are forced to wear masks for hours in classrooms, quietly accepting this sort of government overreach and sitting idle at home is no longer an option. We all feel a duty as free Americans to make our voices heard and tell the state and city governments loud and clear and the mandates.
Right.
And I would like to introduce our first speaker. Our first speaker is Curtis Orwell from Freedom Fighters of NYC. Please welcome Curtis.
Good afternoon, Brooklyn. How y'all doing? These are some warriors out here, out in the snow. I didn't know if this was still going to happen, but we believe in freedom, right? We believe in medical freedom, bodily autonomy, the right to choose what goes into your body. So I wrote a couple notes. They are fading just because the snow is having them leak, but it was Aldous Huxley that said, the writer of Brave New World, he said, facts do not cease to exist because they are ignored. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a proud Jew, and it's an honor and a privilege to be in Brooklyn with my Jewish brothers and sisters, my black brothers and sisters, my Asian brothers and sisters. But I'm imploring to my Jewish brothers and sisters, 4 years ago I had the rare privilege and opportunity to go to Poland. And I went through the death camps. I went through Auschwitz, Auschwitz-Birkenau, Treblinka, and it was a 6-day pilgrimage, and it was absolutely staggering. It was one of those kind of those aha moments, those paradigm-shifting moments in your life. And it made me recognize how could it be that people would go along with people, just their neighbors being whisked away into cattle cars and into camps. People say to me, Curtis, this is outrageous. How could you make that comparison to the Holocaust? They even get offended and they get triggered. And you know what I tell them? The Holocaust is going to look like a walk in the park when the World Economic Forum gets through with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to do your research. I invite you to do your shadow work. They're not hiding anything from us, these oligarchs. They never have. World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, the Great Reset. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. How's that sound? Pretty bad, exactly, exactly. These people don't look at us as humans. They look at us as cattle. You know, the idea of masking ourselves and really concealing our identities at its core, first of all, it does nothing for you, for your health. But beyond that, psychologically, spiritually, what it does as an ideological subversion. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not heard or you have not seen, please go onto YouTube, Yuri Bezmenov, ideological subversion. There are 4 stages to change the perception of the reality of people. How are you able to change the perception of reality? There are 4 stages. The first stage is demoralization. They must demoralize the society. Let's think back a little bit. Let's think back to March 20, right? The churches, the synagogues, they were closed. You couldn't go to God to get what you needed during this time when people were apparently, when this virus was taking people down. But yet the liquor stores and the porn shops were open. Those were considered essential services. This was part of a demoralization, and it was done by design. It was Elie Wiesel, the great Nobel laureate. He said, the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. The opposite of art is not ugliness, it's indifference. The opposite of faith is not heresy, it's indifference. The opposite of life is not death, it's indifference. Indifference is between life and death. Ladies and gentlemen, do not be indifferent. What we're seeing right now is a level of apathy which I've never seen before. So going back to the question, how is it that you have people, you know, ordinary German citizens for the greater good? You know, Jews were considered diseased and dirty. They were considered virus. You know, and for the greater good, they had to be whisked away into cattle cars and off to camps. 6 million, in fact, taking disinfectant showers. It's important that we do our research, and it's important beyond that to do our shadow work, because it happened, and therefore it can happen again. There is a bill that is living and breathing on the New York government website, and thank God it's been struck in, but it's still making news, and that diabolical bill is Bill A416. It was drafted by a Mr. Nick Perry out of Brooklyn, and back in 2015, exactly, Boo is right. This man is a shill. A416 says that the government has the right to pull you out of your home if they deem you a threat to public health and put you into a containment camp. There are already camps in Australia that are set up. Ladies and gentlemen, our governor, Governor Hochul, who we did not even elect, is trying to circumvent Bill A416 that has been struck in. Not a conspiracy theory. You can look it up on your phone right now. It's living and breathing on the New York government website. Ladies and gentlemen, it's important to have these conversations. We need to get comfortable at being uncomfortable. Do I think that genocide is a very sexy conversation? No, I don't. We could be thinking about the latest Netflix film that we saw. We could be thinking about the next family vacation we'll be taking. But guess what? All that's going to be coming to a screeching halt if we the people do not stand up, rise up, make phone calls, send emails, and also do activism within your own family, within your own friends. And if they think you're a conspiracy theorist, that's on them. They haven't psychologically, spiritually opened themselves for it. You guys, God has chosen all of you. And, you know, they always say that the revolution was won by 3% of the population, right? Most people we know are followers, not leaders. So in order to move the needle, it really doesn't take all that much. All it takes is a few good people. So I am pleading with you that we need to break through our cognitive dissonance. We need to break through the Stockholm Syndrome. We need to work both on a micro level and a macro level because we know that this is a spiritual battle. And we've got to do our research. We've got to do our shadow work. And thank you all for coming out. I don't know all of you, but I love each and every one of you. And God bless you all. And have a great day. Stay dry out there.
We'll save this country. See, that's what they did in Canada. They locked arms. That's what they did in Canada. They said no. That's what they did in Canada. They said, we're going to sacrifice. The question is, are you prepared to sacrifice? I think I'm at a funeral. Are you prepared to sacrifice? Are you prepared? Now, this is a very, very unique time in history because I remember when I was a kid, in the early 60s, I was born in 1963, so I was born the year of the March to Washington, and I spoke just the other week representing that movement, representing that time, but representing our fight against the tyranny of our time. Are you prepared to fight against the tyranny of your time? Are you natural-born humans? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in God's grand design? Do you believe that because what God gave us, it makes us a special class of people? I can't hear you. Now, that's right, because you want the world to know that we are locking arms and we're going to be standing against this governor. And let me tell you something. Yeah, go on. Let me tell you something. This black mayor that you have, okay, now I want you to follow me on this now. Because there's a lot of black people that voted for him because he was black. They didn't know he didn't have a brain. We didn't know that he was a slave master. We didn't know he was anti-black. Now, here's a man that said that he's a black American male and that you gave him power in New York City and the #1 job he did was to take your freedoms away from you. Huh? Don't we say boo to him? What? Now, see, I want everybody to see you lock arms because that's what it's going to take to save the country. That's what it's going to take to save the world. Now, you see what they did in Australia? 1 million people came out. They saying, wait a minute, if the Canadians can do it, the free-loving people can do it, we can do it. Okay, now, but let me tell you the people that are really going to make the difference. It's that New York crew. See, New York, I'm a little disappointed today, though. We got to have those 1 million people marching up Fifth Avenue, lock arms, and guess what? When they see the black and Jewish community come together, because, you know, we've done a poor job. We've let some real charlatans come in the mix of us trying to confuse who we are. Guess what? I'm here to tell you, I don't hate you. I love you. We are family. We're fighting the same battle. And we are not going to let people throw a nuclear bomb of hate. Because what we're going to do is we're going to throw love on top of that. You know why? Because love, what wins? Say it again for me. What? Love wins. Now, every time they see us in New York City from now on, just lock arms and say, guess what? We one family. Guess what? We're going to stand up against this tyranny. Guess what? We're going to stand up for our children. Now, I'm going to get back to this mayor. Your mayor said to you that he's going to continue to take your jobs. He's going to continue to fire the police officers. He's going to continue to go after firemen. He's going to continue to go after his own black people. That's why I call him anti-black. When I say anti-black, someone said to me, Kevin, he's not anti-black where his policies are anti-human, and because he's a black American, he's anti-black. Okay? Now, that's happening all over the country. So now, let me tell you folks something. As of today, at this moment, at this second, at this time, we don't have any time to be fighting and bickering with each other. Right. Over petty difference or style. We got one enemy. We know who they are. Yep. We know Bill Gates. They're all the same now. I say one enemy because they're the same. Yeah. Right? We know Soros. We know their henchman, Fauci. We know them all, but here's the deal. We know it. We know what they have prepared for us. So that means that every day of our lives, every second, we have to get up and we have to do what? Preserve our freedom. That's critically important. Because, listen, we forgot. How did we forget? as a black man, as a descendant of slaves, we forgot. The Jewish community, we forgot. We got culture corrupt. We stopped speaking to each other. We started playing politics with each other. We start lying to each other. It's time for us to tell the truth. We are better than this. Are we better than this?
Yeah.
Are we better than this?
Yeah.
Now, this is my week of, my birthday is the 16th, so my wife came home from Florida to spend time with me. I was like, Gail, can I go to this rally? I asked her, I said, can I? She says, Kevin, you think it's going on? I said, patriots like these people never stay in the house. Right? Because we winners, right? Now, I want to send a message to the Jewish community today. The Black and Latino Jewish coalition is absolutely needed, and it needs to start this moment in a big way. We have to send a message to this New York mayor and to these tyrannical council people and to these people that run this city. They're going to run this city into the ground. And you know what, guys? If they do it, it's our fault. And I'm going to leave you with something. When you use the word they, because you're always saying they are taking our power, they are masking our kids, they are intimidating us, they are forcing the mandates. As soon as you say they, you're a slave. Because you give your power away. And when you give your power away, guess what? You have nothing left. And we've been giving our power away to these political parties that don't value life. They don't value God. They don't value family. And we gave our power to a group of people that we should have said, no, we tell you what to do. You don't tell us what to do. So when you say they, you lose. But let me tell you the greatest gift that God gave us. Lock arms, everybody. One RP, I'm in charge. Now, when you say we, let's say we together. Are we at a funeral? Let's say we.
We.
Okay, now when you say we, that means you have power. When you say we, that means we are unified against these tyrants. That's how they beat them in the 60s. That's how they beat them in World War I. That's how they beat them in World War II. That's how they beat. When we come together, lock arms, and we become we have the power. And that is what they don't want us to do. They do not want Kevin Jenkins, a black man from North New Jersey, with some clarity about how we fight against bigotry, hatred, and segregation. They don't want it. Nope. If they could put me in a box right now, they will. And guess what? It won't stop me from talking. I'll be talking in the box. Because I'm serious about this. So the power of we. So moving forward, we have to be about the we, not about I, not about they. And all of these people, I want to send a message to all of these people that are joining this movement. This ain't about you. This is about God. If you ain't about God, stay out of the way. If you want a 5 million Instagram post, this ain't the business to be in. Okay? If you want to go on a mountain and speak, and you want to talk to God and he gives you direction, you want to come and work with us, guess what? That's what we're going to do. Because you know what? That's what Martin Luther King did. He said, I've been to the mountaintop. So if you know anything about that, from a faithful position, he went to speak to God. God said, young man, I want you to stand in the gap for America. Stand in the gap for children. Stand in the gap for the world. I want you to stand up in the middle of the square and fight for America. And that's what he did. So our vision, our purpose, our commitment should be what? To reclaim the dream. We have to reclaim Martin's dream of love. We have to reclaim his dream against hatred, against bigotry, against segregation. We have to fight these global tyrants like he did. He brought the world together, but his message was not of hate. It was of love and respect and dignity. We have to start being kinder to each other. We have to. That is the problem. That is why we lost. That's why we're fighting for our dear lives, because we went into our houses, closed those doors, and say, whatever has happened to those other people, it ain't my problem. Right. And now it's happening to you. It's happening to you. It's happening to you. It's happening to you. So we have to stay unified with the word we. We the people. We the people. We the people. We the people. We have the power. That's right. Now, I want you to do me another favor. I got 2 more favors for you. Just 3 more. Oh, never that. I'm trying to run the government out of here. That's pretty good, though. Like that. So, but here's the other thing. I want y'all to hold each other. I want you to look at each other, because this is important. We send a message to the world. And I want y'all to look at each other in the face. And I want you to say, we are going to reclaim the dream. We reclaim the dream because we love each other.
Right. That's right.
Okay? So now you have to understand, when you say you reclaim the dream, that means you're taking a responsibility. They're going to kick me off the stage. A responsibility. So that means, they're like, okay, they're going to be a responsibility. But see, I came over in the snow, so I'm taking my time. So anyway, the next thing I want you to do is inhale God and exhale fear. That's very important, because these are going to be some interesting times. And so don't get so comfortable. Stay vigilant, stay diligent, stay focused, stay committed. And guess what? Love each other a little better, talk to each other a little better, and stay the we as opposed to the they. There you go. Through the night. That the flag is still there. It's not about winning. It's about making sure this never happens again. Never, ever, ever happens again. God bless you.
Ну что, было довольно неплохо, мне кажется, друзья. Я пересмотрел еще раз, как будто я там никогда не был. Очень-очень-очень было духоподъемно, дорогие друзья. Я думаю, что у нас есть хороший, то, что называется в Америке, fighting chance. Мы не проиграем этот матч просто так. Если мы его проиграем, уже не останется камня на камне, мне кажется. Надо выиграть. Надо выиграть. Такие люди с нами, такой тон, такое настроение. Вы видите, как народ подтянулся. Я думаю, что это хорошее начало, это прекрасное начало. Приходите на следующие митинги. Я буду держать всех в курсе, поскольку буду держать в курсе меня. Ну, а так, до встречи здесь же. Ну, не через 5 минут, я думаю. Будьте здоровы, спокойной ночи.